Hey, it's Brian here, or Dell, with amazing or awesome books and questions with Dell. And today I just finished reading Breakthrough, Surviving Alzheimer's and Why You Can Too by Peter Dredge. Peter has a really great story. He and his wife are in their 60s. They're from New Zealand. They're serial entrepreneurs, and they've lived a very long life together. They got married in their early 20s, if I remember correctly. And now, I think this is a photo of Anne, who's Peter's wife, has recently, or over the past few years, been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. The book is a story about their difficulty and her story about having a breakthrough, has the title, Breakthrough in Treatment. And that she's recovering from an end-stage diagnosis of Alzheimer's, meaning doctors had already determined that she only had maybe 6 to 12 months to live. The breakthrough is that she now has a lot more time left. At least 3 themes in reading this book came to me that I think many people would find useful with many other aspects in their lives, not just Alzheimer's, but in dealing with adversity. But the first one has to do with, oh geez, what did I write? I wrote my blog post. I'm going off the cuff here. The first theme had to do with mainstream or conventional wisdom or conventional medicine versus the specificity, not necessarily alternative medicine, but the specificity of her particular case. And I don't know much about Alzheimer's, and I'm not a doctor, by the way. What I know about the condition, it has to do with what I've read in this book right here. And the difficulty that Peter faced in dealing with conventional medicine on Alzheimer's had to do with the fact that the conventional wisdom says it's uncurable, and that somehow translates into untreatable. And also further that the medical community identifies, well, it tends to identify Alzheimer's as a disease, and therefore looking for a cure has to do with looking for one magic silver bullet. Peter argues that the Alzheimer's represents more of a set of conditions, and that different persons have different parts of that disease, a larger disease, and those various conditions. And so the treatment will therefore differ. He argues that, of course, uncurable doesn't mean untreatable. And that is what his book is about, and how he was able to help Anne break through an end-stage diagnosis. The second difficulty has to do with, that he faced had to do with authority versus reason, in that he would encounter medical professionals who would assert that they have such and such degree, were appointed to such positions of authority, and you name it. Peter says it quite succinctly in one line of the book, where he said, look, bullshit is bullshit regardless of one's degrees, right? Which we all, I think, intuitively understand that, reason and evidence, that truth has no authorities. What's true is true no matter whose mouth it comes from. And the third difficulty or theme that he illustrates in his book has to do with the incentives of caregivers, in particular rest homes, versus the incentives of those receiving care. And one of the sad observations that he brings to light that he encountered in the many rest homes that he had to take Anne to consisted of her being unable to express herself, because given her condition, given the Alzheimer's condition, it's very difficult for her to express herself. And it seemed to Peter that many of these care facilities care more about drugging and silencing Anne, and perhaps other patients as well, than actually trying to understand their patients, than actually trying to understand Anne. And those 3 themes in and of themselves, I think, illustrate like many other difficulties that we might face elsewhere, especially when you're one small person dealing with like a large organization and something as complicated as Alzheimer's, and affecting someone as valuable as Anne is to Peter. So it's a good book. I recommend it. Like and subscribe. If you look at the bottom, I have links to the resources, and yes, they are affiliate links. And my book is also mentioned in the resources. All right, have a good one. Bye.